You know just as well as I do that almost everything about social media is fake. If you're a startup founder or an entrepreneur, then you probably follow other founders and entrepreneurs. And you probably wonder why things look so easy for them when it's so hard for you. Why they're making so much money and you're struggling to get people to even care about what you're selling. Well, there's a simple reason for this. And that reason is social media entrepreneurs lie to you. Social media platforms are the only places where you can make people believe that a fairy tale life is possible or that you can run a business with no obstacles. And as someone who is actually running a business, it can be motivating for a little while seeing everyone else win and then demotivating when you realize that you're the only one that's not winning. Look, let's keep it a buck. Those entrepreneur influencers that you follow on Instagram and Twitter, and they're always on private flights, driving Ferraris, and eating in fancy restaurants, they're playing you. A fraction of a percent. That's the percentage of entrepreneurs that actually live that type of lifestyle. And for everybody else, it's a front. Or in the words of my 8-year-old son, it's all cap. In this video, I'm gonna kill all of those social media entrepreneur myths and help you set an expectation of what starting a business really looks like. I'll show you what entrepreneurial success is when you take all the filters and bullshit away. And we're gonna get started right now. So let's start with this popular meme that I've been seeing everywhere since we started receiving stimulus checks. Basically, it suggests that instead of buying a pair of sneakers, you should start a business instead, because apparently that $200 investment will propel you into being the next Bill Gates. No matter who you are, according to this meme, you should invest in a business because that's gonna set you up for long-term entrepreneurial success. But unfortunately, it's all bullshit. Don't buy expensive shoes. Buy an LLC. That's great advice, right? Well, you probably shouldn't be buying $200 shoes if you're living check to check. But while it's great to start an LLC, get a domain, and launch a business, if you don't know what you're doing, all you're gonna do is waste your money. Most businesses fail, and just because you start an online store doesn't mean that you'll even make $1. And if you're doing it with just a $50 advertising budget like the meme suggests, well, that's not gonna get you very far either. It takes so much more than just an initial investment to win in business, especially if the only thing that you're willing to invest is a couple $100. It takes the right idea and a product that people actually wanna buy. It takes marketing to get your product in front of your customers and more marketing to get them to actually wanna buy it. It takes a competitive advantage that makes your customers want to buy from you instead of from somebody else. Most of all, it takes hard work and patience, and it's not nearly as glamorous as it looks. And you're not going to be hopping on any private jets anytime soon either. Instead, you'll be working 3 times as hard as you do during your 9 to 5 and for a fraction of the money. Now look, that's not to demotivate you. Business is risky, but the payoff can be insane. Because the good thing about owning a business is that you don't run into the salary cap that you do while you're working in a job. Technically speaking, the right business can keep multiplying its customer base, its products, and its staff, and therefore multiplying its revenue. But that's not gonna happen on day one. And it probably won't even happen in year one. According to Forbes, most businesses need at least 18 to 24 months to reach profitability. And that's not taking into account the 25% of businesses that fail within their first year. And on top of that, research by PayScale estimates that small business owners make an average of only $40,000 per year within their first 5 years of business. So yeah, you'll be putting those Ferrari dreams on hold for a while. The truth is, not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. And for those who do have the qualities of a successful entrepreneur, you still have to set yourself up the right way. You still have to go through all the stages of figuring out what the right product is. You still have to learn how to operate it the right way, and you still have to go through that dark early period where you're hoping to earn enough money to cover your expenses. The second myth is that you're actually going to get support from the people that you know. Social media will make it seem like as soon as you post about your product or your business, everyone is going to rush to buy it from you. I mean, at the least, everyone is going to like your business launch post and share it, right? Unfortunately not. The fact is that very few people that you know are actually going to buy your product from you. And you're going to feel like no one actually cares about what you're doing. And actually, you shouldn't really even expect them to buy from you. Just because somebody is your friend, whether in real life or online, doesn't mean that they actually fit your customer base or that they need what you're selling. And just because they like your kid's picture doesn't mean that they find it valuable to share the 14,000 posts that you put on Facebook about your business this month. I launched a startup consultancy over 10 years ago, and since then, I haven't had a single friend as a client. But at the same time, how many of my friends were building startups? Very few. And since they weren't startup founders, it really wasn't valuable to them to share stuff on their profiles about my startup related business. In the grand scheme of things, our social profiles are kind of like real estate. It's like someone's online house, and they might like having rose bushes in front of their house and manicured grass. I can't just walk up to their door and ask them to stick a big ass sign on their lawn advertising my business. I mean, I could, but I can't necessarily expect them to actually do it. And I can't get mad if they don't, because it's their house, just like it's their profile. And while it may seem like sharing my posts costs them nothing, it actually does cost them something. It costs them the way that people perceive them when they visit their profiles. Because look, people don't share stuff just because their friends posted it. There's actually a science to why people buy things and why people share things online. According to stats by the New York Times, 94% of people share things because they want to better the lives of others. 68% want the content to reflect their online identity, and 80% share because they want to grow and nourish relationships. So if the posts about your business don't fulfill one of these desires, then you really can't be mad if they don't share your stuff. The truth is, every business has to find its market, its audience, and its customer base. And there may not be a single person in your existing circle that actually fits that audience. Your goal shouldn't be to have your friends and associates support you. Your goal should be to figure out where your customers are and get them to support you. That's going to take research, marketing, and constantly building strong relationships with those who actually fit the demographic of your customer base. The third myth is that entrepreneurship is easy. It's not. Look, I get it. You hate your boss, and that's fine. But when you're an entrepreneur, your clients become your boss. So really, you just end up trading your one boss for 50 bosses. And trust me when I tell you that clients are much harder to please than your boss is. Look, I get it. You want to control your own schedule and control your own hours. And that sounds good, but honestly, you'll be working way more hours every day. So yeah, you can choose when you work and when you don't, but more than likely, especially in the beginning, you'll be working more hours than you ever worked at your job. And if you're even thinking about punching out at 5 o'clock like you do at work, that won't happen because as an early stage entrepreneur, the day really never ends. In a study by Gallup, it was found that 33% of small business owners work more than 50 hours per week, and 25% work more than 60 hours per week. Now pair that to that $40,000 average salary that we spoke about earlier, and you will see that your per hour rate is probably going to drop for the first several years of launching your business. Now look, none of this is to deter you from starting your business. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been one in some capacity for my entire adult life. But the point is, you have to keep it real, because if you don't set your expectations ahead of time, then you might think that you're failing when you're actually succeeding. Forget what social media says that you should do with your $200, because those steps will make you a registered business, but it won't make you an entrepreneur. Before you ever even think of starting a business, there are 3 important things that you should know, and we talk about those in this video right here. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe down below. We drop new videos every week to help you launch and grow your startup, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care and keep creating amazing